What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Neverlag Gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Levi, joined by the man who fell in the pit, Zach, to my left or bottom right or top left. I'm not sure. Maybe one of those positions. And then the other one's going to be Calvin. What are you? You're Stormblessed, right? Great dance.
Yeah.
Great dance. Welcome back in. This is the only place you can catch us talking about video games unless you hack our phones or bug our places of living or pay us more money to do this literally anywhere else. So
yeah, we'll come to you. We'll come to you.
We're a traveling podcast for hire.
Do house visits.
All you have to pay for is our expenses and then $1,000.
Some Chipotle, maybe $1,000.
And Chipotle.
Yeah. Welcome back in. We're continuing our streak of extended podcasts, director's cut editions of we're grabbing months by the bundle full. So today we're going to be doing, what are we doing? July and August.
Yeah, a baker's month.
We're going to be,
as they say,
a baker's month. That's kind of funny, would say. Oh man. So yeah, welcome in. We're going to catch up and talk about everything that happened in July and August. Plenty to talk about. Some big stuff. How are you guys doing?
I've never been worse, and I'm so excited to talk to you both about all the games we've played.
Didn't know where that was going.
I've never been worse.
Vaguely pessimistic and excited to be here. No, I'm good. I've only played.
We try to keep.
We were just talking like this is like 2 months worth of gaming we're going to talk about, and I only have one game to show for it, but I at least completed it. And I'm excited to live vicariously through you guys and hear what you've been playing.
Yeah. Some call it the longest platformer ever made.
Some call it that. They're probably they're probably wrong, but it's in the running, I think.
Do you think there's a long, I mean, it's up there.
It is up there.
So gentlemen, I want to kick things off. We have plenty to talk about, but at the cadence at which we are making these,
we're 5 minutes in. Let's get to it.
I feel it would be remiss if we did not talk about Silk Song. That is happening. It is a real game. It is out. As of this, have you heard of that?
By the time we're recording this, since we're so late.
Oh yeah, that thing that I've been counting down every day towards since they announced it a week and a half ago.
Half of our lives have been spent awaiting this DLC sequel. No, it came out. I just wanted to, while me and Calvin are living in the extreme depth of hype at this point in time. We've started the game. Obviously we're not going to talk anything because we haven't played enough. We're going to talk about this probably at the end of September. But yeah, just a lot has happened. We spent the entire last 7 years waiting for a date, but also the entirety of this year. I know I had it in our Fantasy Critic, and all of these shows were coming and going, no date, and it was just like, I think you and I and all three of us are at a point where we're just like, it's got to be coming this year, but like until it has a date, I guess maybe it isn't. Maybe it's 2026. Maybe
I didn't believe
maybe Team Cherry have passed away, and
has anybody done a wellness check on Team
Cherry?
They got eaten by
what is
giant
happening?
spiders.
Yeah.
That could happen down there. Lo and behold, on a random Thursday after what was it, Gamescom?
I think it was Gamescom.
Jeff Keighley was either given permission at Gamescom or he just took it upon himself to say that there will be he was like, Silk Song is real. It is coming this year. That was his announcement.
I love how he said that. That's kind of what he said last time is like,
yeah,
I felt
how many times have people gotten on stage and been like, Silk Song is real.
Really,
it's
guys,
coming.
I swear.
Like they need sandwich boards.
Yeah.
Silk Song is nigh. Silk Song is coming. Be ready.
Team Cherry's judgment draws near. The path of pain awaits all of you.
That's really what it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even think that he got permission from Team Cherry. I think he's just like,
yeah. Team Cherry was like, oh, okay. I guess we got to release it since he said that.
Yeah. So no, the Thursday after Gamescom, there was a countdown. There was a little trailer with the release date, which I thought I got some laughs out of this. The release date was 9/4. No year. And I was just like,
yeah.
After all this time, I think you should put a year on that.
You should specify. Clarity would, yeah.
They're just screwing with us till the end.
I know. Because
I know,
I
it's
remember
so
messaging
funny.
you guys like, oh, we got the date. And Levi was like, we didn't get a year. I was like,
We
yeah,
didn't get a year.
2029.
You're right.
9/4/2029. They promise they will release it September 4th some year. So anyways, yeah, what was that? 2 weeks? Maybe 2 weeks?
Not 2 weeks
It
ago.
was
of
I think it
build
was
up, and
exactly 2 weeks.
which is about exactly what I expected. A lot of people thought, oh, maybe they'll shadow drop this after all this time. And I was like, I just don't think you shadow drop a game of this hype. But I feel like 2 weeks was just enough to. That's a good cycle of like
kind of build
getting
up the momentum
for me
again real
personally.
quick.
I had lost hype for this game because it took so long. I think we all assumed it was in development hell. Like something happened, they had to reboot the game. Like the industry is such that's what it's taught us. Something has gone wrong here, and I now worry about this game. I've lost some excitement because it can't be humming along as intended. And 2 weeks was just the right amount of time to be like, okay, a lot of people replayed Hollow Knight, the original game. Its Steam concurrent players surpassed all-time highs at like, I think it reached 40,000 concurrent players on Steam for the original Hollow Knight before Silksong. Like, we have never, ever seen a game, an indie game for sure. I would almost go so far as to say a video game as awaited and hyped and as hysterical of like an anticipation as Silksong. And I don't know if we ever will again.
I
Like,
can't
it's just
think of
this,
anything.
I saw some
lightning in a
comment that
bottle.
said this is the GTA 6 of indie games, and that's
and that's what I was. I'm like, even GTA 6, I feel like Silksong had more. Maybe not numbers wise, but noise wise. It's hard to say, but like
hard to
Team Cherry, lightning in a bottle. They couldn't.
It's hard to say too because like
to have this much.
I don't really care about GTA, whereas I care about Silksong.
Yeah.
So like,
sure,
they weigh differently, but yeah, no.
But anyways, the news came out after that. Apparently, this game was not in development hell. Rather, it was in development heaven. They interviewed Team Cherry. Apparently, Team Cherry's just been like, offline, living their life, having a blast developing this game, not worrying at all about everyone else's hair on fire for the last 6 years.
Living a balanced life with their family while having a great time making art and video
pursuing
games.
their passion that has also made them filthy rich. They're just loving life. And they had to stop themselves from making more Silksong. They were having so much fun. That is literally the news that we got. And that is the point at which I was like, all right, I'm back in. I'm hyped. Like,
I mean, I
thought this game was maybe a busted mess.
Better news than that.
No, amazing. And so here we are. It just came out a couple days ago, or yesterday. Sorry, not to date this, but yesterday. And ironically, it broke the internet when companies. It's almost as if companies could not have guessed that this was going to create a lot of traffic on PlayStation Store, Switch Store, Steam Store. It broke
before
all
work.
of them.
I went to go and like purchase it to get it downloading, and I couldn't access it on like a couple of different places. And so I was like, I guess I'll everything was down. I was like, I guess I'll just try and buy it after work.
It took, I think, right around 3 hours. Was it 3 hours?
That's what
an hour and a half.
It was around. I thought it was close to 11 before we were able to download it from PlayStation.
Maybe. Yeah, it was supposed to be 8 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
They just crashed all the servers.
7 Pacific, and it was about 2 hours, I would say, until it literally just showed still the on PlayStation where we were trying to get it. Just showed the wish list thing. No price, no purchase for like 2 hours. It was like someone forgot to flip a switch.
I tried at 9 a.m. couldn't get it. So
part of me was like, oh, it's not real. It's actually not real.
This Team Cherry actually didn't say any of this. Yeah.
You're just going to, eventually it's going to roll over and it's going to Rickroll. It's just going to be like the PlayStation Store and it's going to be a Rickroll video. Yeah. Like, we haven't been developing anything. We have enough money. We're good.
We just wanted $20. Yeah.
We just wanted $20 for that. Yeah. So anyways, we've jumped in. Initial thoughts are just that it's amazing. It's Hollow Knight. It's Hollow Knight, but better in every way. That the combat, the movement is different and new, but feels familiar at the same time. And I guess my just quick sentence would be that after all this time, I think Metroidvanias have kind of, I would say I've cooled on them a bit to where like they were maybe the pinnacle or peak of my favorite genre for a few years there post Hollow Knight. And I've gotten a little tired of the tropes, and I think things have gotten a little worn out in that genre, and we haven't had enough innovation since Hollow Knight. So I wondered, would this game hit in 2025? We talked about that. And I got to say, jumping into Silksong, there is just nothing like Team Cherry's fingerprint on this genre. Like, there is nothing like the feel, the look, and the sound, the music of Hollow Knight. Like it really just sucks you back in and transports you into the world,
Yeah,
and just it fits like a glove, man. It's just
they've
so
got the
good,
magic.
and they got the magic. They do. They have the special sauce. So
Yeah.
looking
I'm excited.
forward to.
I haven't touched it yet. I downloaded it last night. My daughter has started playing it and she's obsessed. And
She's
so
gonna be
that's a good sign.
spoiling everything.
Yeah, she's tried to show me some stuff. I'm like, don't get away from me.
Get away.
To your room.
No way.
Get in your
You're
room
grounded.
and play more video games.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally taking screenshots of the download bar. It was down like when do we do that? It's insane. So anyways, I just wanted to glow about that for a minute because we're in it, and sometimes
exciting.
we
It's
you know, like
exciting.
as we're about to talk about with some of these other games, you're a little more in it. I'm past it, and I have to try and get back into it to talk about some of these things. So
and now that I have started Silksong, I it's all I can think about, and I have to somehow turn that off. And
yeah, Calvin wasn't even listening just now. He's just seeing Silksong in his mind.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the price. That was the thing. Yeah. They announced the date, and there was no price, and everyone was like, "What's it gonna be?" It was $15 in 2017. You know,
I thought for sure
inflation, it's got to be at least 30. And my guess was 30. Your guess was 40. Some people were wondering, "Oh, is Team Cherry going to go full 60 on this thing because they know they can sell it?" And they come out with a $20 price tag in 2025. So we are,
what a beautiful
we are literally paying less for Silksong in 2025 than we paid for Hollow Knight. If you
adjusted for inflation, absolutely, because
that's
I don't know exactly. But I think
especially considering it's been confirmed that Silksong is a bigger game than Hollow Knight.
Like, yeah, so
it's just
and you know it's just so cool to see a team of guys, what is it, 3 people who hit big like this. I'm sure they have more people helping, but it's a core team of like 3 people.
I've heard they didn't hire a ton though. Yeah.
And they just are making their passion project, and when you remove greed from the equation, they're still going to make like all of the money. I mean, I wonder how much Hollow Knight sold, but I wouldn't be surprised if Silksong sells 10 million copies in the first year. Like, I don't know if that's reasonable, but that seems reasonable to me at $20.
Yeah. I mean, even if they sell 3, 4, 5 million for an indie at $20 a pop.
If they had a big publisher above them, there's not a chance that this game is $20. Like, it's just.
And that's where my head was at. I didn't stop to think about it.
Thank goodness for Team Cherry.
Them retaining this kind of control of their studio and what they're doing is so refreshing. Because of that, is they could say, we don't want this to be overpriced. We think people should access this for this amount. And that's like, again, for the quality of the game, like I was hypothesizing, like, what would I pay for this? And it's like, I would pay $60 for it. Like, this is a full, like, Hollow Knight was a huge game. It's a fairly long game. One of my favorites of all time. Like, I think the quality and what they deliver I don't want to push for.
I remember being shocked when I played Hollow Knight in 2017 at how long it was. Cause I looked forward to it. It's $15. And I was expecting, most Metroidvanias are around 10 to 15 hours. I'd say maybe 20. And I got like 50 hours into Hollow Knight, and I was just like, "What? Where did this game come from? And why is it $15?" I'm pretty sure they were on the record just saying they wanted as many people to be able to play it as possible.
Yeah, I think they love it, and they want people to enjoy it, and they think that's fair.
As far as I can think of, it's Hollow Knight has by far been the best value in video games. Like, you can't really find a better value of content to price from Hollow Knight, and then they pretty much just did the same thing.
Game Pass burst through the wall.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Oh yeah.
I mean, on a single game basis, I can't think of anything that.
No, yeah. So it's wild that they one-upped it, and Team Cherry is still Team Cherry after all this time, and nothing catastrophic happened, and here we are.
It's so refreshing too.
Great story.
With the chaos that video game industry has been for so long.
I bet you if they had like a big publisher over them, they would have been pushing for 60, 70.
Oh, absolutely.
$60.
Team Cherry would have had to fight that, and then we would have ended up in the $40 to $50 price range. Yeah. The fact that they didn't have to do that is again, it's crazy. Between that
Yeah.
and Expedition 33 this year, like it's been a really
Dude,
hopeful year.
here's something for you. Here's something for your brains. Expedition 33 and Silk Song cost the same together as what AAA games are now trying to charge us minimum.
Yeah.
On the low
That's
end. On the low end.
That
well,
is
70 is not the low end. What are you talking about?
No,
20 and 50?
wait. Oh, I was thinking.
but kind of it's the
Expedition
baseline,
33 is 40.
the new baseline
It's
price
the
for
new
a video game.
baseline that they
Yeah.
and that's what's funny is in a year where we've seen publishers push to Nintendo push to 80. We pushed to
Yes.
70, 80. They're trying to
oh.
push up and up and up. GTA might be $100. I think we've seen more quality at budget and titles than we've ever seen in video games right now.
agree.
$50 and under.
A lot of these
And
$70 titles are not fully baked,
they're
or
not
they're just
good.
missing things, or
Yeah.
the content is broken out into to get all of the content. You have to pay beyond the $70.
We'll get to it here on my list here, but
Yeah.
the best games are between $20 and $50 right now.
Yeah,
and that's
that's-
just you love to see it. It just warms my heart to see
It's
as
an
they push
interesting-
higher and higher, the best video games end up being in that medium to lower end.
It's an interesting correlation, and I think my hypothesis is that it just speaks to who's making the game and what they care about, like you said, because the people who really care about these games and care about the players are the ones trying. They don't want it to be $70, $80, $90. They feel like this is great. We've made a great thing, and we think it's worth more people experiencing it. We trust that it's a good game, that it's going to sell. And so, yeah.
It's also indicative of the structure of companies and why AAA is such a mess. Like we see these indie studios, they don't have as much overhead. They don't have as many people to pay. Yeah. So they can price a game low,
executives,
make tons of money, and they don't have to pay executives or CEOs billions of dollars every year or whatever. Like that's the problem.
The true shareholders are us gamers.
Right. So there we go. We made it to capitalism eventually with Silk Song.
Right. Now that we've hit capitalism, we should probably say what we've been playing.
Exactly. Let's jump into it, and let's start with none other than Donkey Kong Bonanza, which was the game of July. Pretty anticipated. And August. But I mean, it released in July. It was many would argue it is the system seller and should have been the day one seller for the Switch 2, although I argue that Nintendo did that entirely on purpose because they knew everyone was going to buy the Switch 2 immediately, and then
they didn't need a system seller.
Exactly. They had another wave with DK Bonanza. And I think the drumbeat increased as we got closer to release, and we did confirm that it was the Odyssey team. People got more hands-on and started to realize that this was of a quality of a Mario Odyssey, I would say. So let's Calvin hasn't played it. We are going to talk general spoilers, but nothing that'll ruin your experience, I wouldn't think. So
DK is Pauline's dad.
Yeah, do you know the Rock is a little girl, so I think we're good.
Oh yeah, the Rock.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? First of all, can you imagine if Nintendo had not revealed that before the game launched? That would have been one of the craziest reveals ever. Because
I kind of wish they had it.
I know, when they just revealed that in a direct before the game came out, I was like, "What?"
I don't know why they did that.
The Rock is a little girl named Pauline. Like, what happened here?
Yeah,
I forget. It's Odd Rock, right?
Odd Rock, yeah.
I was locking in for a full campaign with Odd Rock, and they're just like, surprise, it's a 13-year-old girl, and it's just like, well, sure.
Did you ever wish your pet Rock was actually a 13-year-old girl? Well, we here at Nintendo.
Yeah, right? Wait, lawyers, what? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well, let's start with you, Zach. What did you think of DK Bonanza, having now finished it?
It was a true bonanza. Does that make sense? It was fun. I just finished it last night. I rolled credits a few days ago, and then I finished up. There's some post-game stuff we can talk about. Some additional challenges and collectibles after you roll credits that I've been wrapping up, and I finished that last night. I got pretty much everything. There's some smaller collectibles that I didn't quite get, but all of the main stuff I have now, in challenges and everything I finished up. And I feel like I need a little bit of time to process where this will land in my overall list, but I think it is a really great game. It was a blast of a platformer. You can feel the Mario Odyssey team's fingerprints on it. It has sort of a similar tone and feel to it that Odyssey did back in the day, and I liked that a lot. And then it also like added some really novel things that they don't quite reach the level of transcendence or transfiguration that something like Breath of the Wild did with its open exploration, but kind of like a half step of that level of like changing what you can do in games with the destructibility. And so I think one of the key things about DK Bonanza is there's this key mechanic. If you can break and destroy a lot, not quite everything, but a lot of your environment, much more than I've ever played in any video game ever. And that's baked into how you play the game of like finding these bananas. And the whole premise is, you start on the surface and you're going into deeper layers of the planet, trying to, get the MacGuffin or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And that mechanic of smashing was pretty fun. And there were multiple gameplay moments of like digging into the earth, just punching your way and making tunnels and like figuring out how to find things that they'd buried throughout their levels. That was a fairly unique gameplay experience, I would say. Like this felt like its own unique platformer in that sense, like mechanically. And that was a lot of fun. One other high level thought before we get into specifics is that maybe the one downside is that it sometimes struggled, I think, to evolve beyond like smashing and collecting things, which it is a collector, like a platformer collectathon. And so maybe we can talk a little bit about there may be a few areas where I wish it had a couple of extra dimensions to it that it maybe didn't quite ever reach, but this was a blast. And the only other thing I'll say is this felt more like a Mario extended universe game, like a Mario cinematic universe video game than it did a Donkey Kong game. And I don't know if I'm just old and I remember the weird Donkey Kong from like 1990, whatever. But it did feel a little bit more like the wider Nintendo thing. It didn't feel as specific to DK, like, and that wasn't inherently a negative. I liked a lot of what they did, but I kind of found myself wishing like they had a little bit more of the DK personality at certain points, like some of the music, like the DK rap, some of the locations. And there were a few that kind of fit the DK theme, but yeah, anyway, those are some high level thoughts. I liked it a lot. I think it is a really great Nintendo game. It's not quite up there with Odyssey for me for whatever reason, I don't think, but it's close. Like if Odyssey is, a 10 out of 10 game, I think this is probably a nine and a
Yeah.
half.
What is this? What would
It's
you
a
give
nine.
it?
I would give it I need more time, but probably a 9 or a 9.5. It's really great. Like my critiques are pretty small and they didn't really detract from the enjoyment, even though there are a few things I can think of that could have maybe elevated the game up to the Odyssey level. But yeah, what about you? What'd you think about it?
Real quick, I was just gonna say, I having not played the game, but hearing your thoughts, just thinking of Odyssey. I mean, I think that's one of the layers that made Odyssey as good as it was, beyond just being a great game, was it had actual depth in its movement. It had a pretty high skill ceiling, and you could like do some difficult movement, and I feel like some of that depth might be sounds like maybe it's missing, but
Yeah, I don't
it
know if
seems
I'd
like
say
a difference
missing is
maker.
on a scale. Let's say
Yeah,
the skill ceiling for Mario Odyssey goes up to 10 and
yeah.
DK goes up to 7.5 maybe, or
Hmm.
something like that,
Okay.
maybe 8. I don't know. There are some challenges later on that make you get a little bit more skilled with your abilities and stuff. Um, it didn't quite have the finesse of Mario, but you're Donkey Kong. Like he's not as,
Yeah.
limber of a character, but um, but there was some of that there. One other thought I've had playing this game is that I feel like there was a lot of creativity and nuance with like the destructibility in the world and with some of your abilities that are really interesting. But some of the puzzles or solutions to like getting collectibles were not didn't require you to get nearly as creative most of the time. And that was maybe that's the way I'd communicate it, is that like there was a lot of creativity in this overall, but as a player, I was not forced to be creative nearly enough
Hmm.
with some of those abilities.
Interesting.
Yeah. 100%. You echo a lot of what I said because I told you my opinion early on and it formed yours, obviously. So,
Right.
no, I'm just kidding. No, I really do. I agree with a lot of what you said. It sounds like you came to similar conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel, it's funny because it's when we heard it was the Odyssey team, it kind of bumped it up a notch. but I do feel like maybe it felt a little too Odyssey coded instead of taking the quality of Odyssey and fully making it Donkey Kong. Like
Yeah.
you said, there were just certain elements that felt, I think Cinematic Mario Universe does kind of, it's a great way to put a label on how it feels sometimes and takes away some of that, just some of that charm and funky edge that Donkey Kong tends to have. And so for me, my experience playing the game, I would say starting out, this game was like 10 out of 10. It was crack cocaine, distilled into a video game. The first level, not like the intro to the game, but the first level you get to is so Donkey Kong. The music is my favorite
The
track in the
first full
entire game.
area is great.
Yeah. The colors are bright, vibrant yellows and light blues and Caribbean water. And you got this like tropical, funky DK soundtrack in the background. I was just 100% in, 10 out of 10. And I will say for me, as the game went on, I tended to like the levels less and less. And this is a very subjective thing because I wouldn't necessarily say that the levels descend in quality or deteriorate in quality necessarily, but like theming wise and stuff, it just kind of felt like we lost the plot and things got really all over the place and weren't cohesive. And I understand that it's a platformer and you're just trying to be like, here's a different level, here's a new different level. Like I get it, but I just didn't find myself loving the aesthetic nature of the levels as I went further down, or the vibes were not my favorite. I do feel like sometimes too later in the game, it's almost like early on they just set you loose to destroy everything in these giant sandbox with multiple tiers and levels. And as you get further into the game, it's like they pulled back on that to try and direct the player a little more linearly
Yeah.
toward some sort of goal or narrative. It got a lot more narrative, which in some ways was cool, but kind of felt like it lost what made the beginning of the game so enchanting.
Yeah. And I don't know that the narrative necessitated that level of like
Yeah, I don't know that it did either.
linearity, because I totally agree with that. Like I feel like the story was cool. I liked generally what was happening all the way through. I had a similar experience though. I feel like a lot of the later stages, once you pass like the 60% mark, the scope kind of gets less. Like you said, it's more linear. There's less destructibility. There's less, give or take. There's a little bit less you can actually really do, even if there's more of a facade of that exploration, but more of a forced, like, here's a couple of corridors we need you to go down to progress things. And it kind of feels like maybe for time's sake, they're like, we just don't have time to fill these out as much. And kind of a bummer though, because like the first couple like the first few big areas, I liked much more than the majority of the second half areas. There's one or two I liked in the second half a lot, but
yeah, it's purely subjective, like I said. But yeah, I just really liked when Donkey Kong was feeling like Donkey Kong in the beginning. It was very tropical, upbeat. Even that second layer, the hilltop layer, it's kind of a little mini layer that you go to. I don't know why I really it was very serene and I liked the colors. And I just felt like as I kept going down, I kept not liking the layers as much as the ones I started it. And that's never a good feeling. But trying to think of what else I had on the tip of my mind, as they never say.
right on the tip of that brain. Yeah,
I need to replay. I need to replay Odyssey at some point soon because I do feel like Odyssey is a better game. And I can't say that for sure. It's been so long since I played it, but I definitely think Odyssey is a better game. As I finish this game and as I've reflected on it over the past month, I feel like Donkey Kong Bonanza it's a staple, and it has gameplay mechanics that are innovative. We've never really seen someone attack destructibility like this, and I want to see this idea pursued. I want to see Nintendo work with this some more. But I'm left feeling like Bonanza is very much that first iteration into something new like this, and it almost feels like not a proof of concept because it's better than that, but somewhere in there. Like we have this really good idea for like a visceral, very engaging gameplay loop where you're just breaking through rocks and just smashing everything and collecting stuff, and that is never bad. that they nailed that. It is constantly fun to do that, but it needed something more, because as the game went on, and again, the game's kind of long. I mean, we're
It
talking
is.
like 30 to 40 hours maybe if
Oh
you
wow,
really do it and play it. Like, it's a
that's more than
long
I would have thought.
platformers
Yeah, that's why
are
it took me
never
2
this
months.
long.
That's
And
crazy. Yeah.
and as I started this game, every layer I was like, oh, I want to go slow because I don't want this game to be over. And then finally I reached a point where I'm like, all right, how many layers are there?
Yeah,
Like,
by the
I'm
70% mark, I
getting
was
a
like, all
little
right,
worn out.
yeah.
Getting a little
How many-
worn out here. So it needed, and I don't want to say this to scare anyone off. It's a really fun game. It needs to be played by pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
But it does have proof of concept feel, where it's like, okay, we need to iterate on this and refine this gameplay loop and add in some more depth. There was really no depth to this gameplay from start to finish, in my opinion. And I understand that they're catering to children, as people say, but they're really not. Nintendo fans are mostly 30 years old. Like,
They're insufferable
most of us
millennials
are,
like us.
exactly. Most of us are older. And then you look at a game like Odyssey. Odyssey is the prime example of easy to pick up, hard to master gameplay. Like, there are challenges and movement tech in that game that a child will never probably do, but like, that increase the skill ceiling and the engagement for older people. It's kind of like why Shrek blew up so big. Yes, it's an animated cartoon movie, but it has a
The
lot of
skill
adult
ceiling
humor.
of Shrek was pretty
The
high.
skill ceiling of Shrek was
I'm still
yes,
getting good at Shrek.
you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
When you're 30, it'll click.
Yeah, you'll get it when you're older.
You get it when you're older. No, but I feel like DK was missing that. It felt like it was just too bare bones the whole way through. And we can talk a little bit about the post game here in a minute. But like, after credits roll, there's some challenges you can do for each of your transformations. And these are like full on kind of gauntlets that you go into. And you get to permanently be in these transformations, which I thought that was so much better. We can kind of talk about the nuances of upgrades and things, but you're permanently in these transformations where Donkey Kong is a zebra or some different animal. And these challenges are catered toward the abilities of that animal.
Yeah.
And they're actually there were a couple that had me scratching my head or trying them a few times.
Same.
And that was really that was refreshing. It was refreshing to actually get some difficulty, some challenge in this world, because they have the tools here. They have some really cool stuff to work with. They just never push the player through the entire experience until after credits.
And force you to get
a lot of what you guys have said in ways sounds a lot like what I think we kind of all felt about Astrobot afterwards. Astrobot was amazing,
similar,
but it never was that
needed a little more challenge,
and it didn't have very high skill ceiling or that much depth in the movement.
This falls in a similar bucket as Astrobot, I think, both in quality and in how much I love it, and in the fact that I think the skill, I wish it had a little bit more areas where it pushed you. And I wish it forced you to be more creative in more places. And because part of it is like the skill, and I guess that's kind of hand in hand with the creativity, but like you have these weird, interesting tool sets of like these different animals you can turn into that have different, very unique abilities. Force me to get creative with those abilities to like find the things I need to find. And a lot of the collectibles is just like, go there, smash, get banana, which is somewhat satisfying. But like after a while, it's like,
there's almost never something where you look at it and you're like,
how do I get there? That? What do I do? Like, and like,
you're just like, oh, let me go get that.
Yeah. And they give you multiple ways to do things, which can sometimes be nice, where it's like, okay, I think this is the intended way, but I might be able to grab this other resource that kind of lets me cheese it a little bit. But I wish there was more of them where you really had to get creative beyond just like kind of smash again, like, it's kind of like when all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail, is like a little bit too much of just the smash everything, which 100%. Is fun. A little bit more, okay, you can smash everything, but now to get some of these
sometimes you need a unique solution to something to trigger some brain activity. Otherwise, like you said, everything works. So this game really is TikTok the video game. And that's not all bad. That is not all bad. It is, you sit down and you go smash, and your brain is releasing dopamine, and you lose hours, especially at the start of this game. But it is also TikTok the video game, in that you kind of feel your brain turning to soup after a while, and you're like, I need some sort of engagement
I
puzzle,
know
something going on here.
if you're not careful, you'll get pipelined, you'll get canceled. All sorts of things can happen on
Exactly.
DK. Just kidding.
So a little bit more specifics, just to kind of make our way through this here. We talked about the transformations; those were fun, but I wonder. I feel like there had to have been a better way to implement them. I wonder if you felt this at all, but like just the weird kind of at odds design choice where it's like they're constantly available, but they're also limited and they run out. Like I didn't
but
love
the
the way
resource
that
to
system
recharge
was
them
made
is so readily available
everywhere,
that you
and you
sort
can
of
do it in seconds.
you can never run out. But I felt this way too, because what happens inevitably is you're in the middle of
It's
something
like,
using an
why?
ability, and then you'll run out and you have to stop and suck up a couple of gold bits. Grab a couple gold bits real quick.
Like 4 coins and then it's full
Four
again.
coins and then it's full again. And so it's like, it's just enough to be interruptive and annoy you and like stall you, but not enough that it adds like a meaningful amount of friction or challenge.
Yeah,
Or
if
like,
it's
it's not a
constantly
meaningful limitation.
available and you're not
Just
trying to
make it
meaningfully
available.
limitate the player, why not just make it available constantly? It was just this weird thing where it's like I just didn't love it, and in the end what happened is I used some of the abilities a lot, but
And
like
some
the
never.
zebra, I really
I almost
liked
never
the
used
zebra,
it.
but I never used the zebra. Whereas if
Same.
the zebra had been tied to like a specific button, and I understand you only have so many buttons and they chose to use 4 for pounding the ground, but like if the zebra had been a button, I would use a zebra all the time to like dash around and be quick. And I
Yeah,
just
if
feel
it
like there
is.
was a better way to implement these abilities that could have been more. You could chain them together better. It was kind of cumbersome. I did find out mid transformation you could switch between them, but it was very cumbersome.
Cumbersome, and it's
Um,
I wish they had made it easier to
Again,
transform
proof
between
of
the two.
concept. It just feels like they had
Yeah.
a cool thing here, and it doesn't quite come together perfectly in gameplay.
Yeah, some of the
Whereas
later
I liked
challenges,
each of these.
I did too, and I liked some of the later challenges where it forced you to. It was like you're just this, like you said, you're the one
Yeah, and
animal.
I don't have to worry about it
To worry
running
about
out.
it,
I'm just this
and
thing, and I got to
and then they
solve these
designed.
problems.
I feel like a lot of the main
Yeah.
areas they weren't really, for the most part, designed for the ability. There are occasional areas where it's like, okay, I need this ability here, but like
Yeah.
those challenge areas where it was like built.
The
where
elephant is broken. Dude,
the
once you
elephant
get
is
the elephant, I
the
was like,
elephant's
why
kind of
does
broken.
anything else exist?
Yeah, the
You could
elephant kind
solve
of does
everything with the elephant, Calvin.
that.
It's
Yeah,
I've been
crazy.
saying this for a long time.
Yeah.
right.
Did you know
Before
the elephant
before
needs a
DK.
nerf? Everything
The
needs a buff.
elephant,
It's crazy.
nerf the elephant.
Long before DK, I've been saying this.
Yeah, long before
Yeah,
DK.
this has been a problem pre-DK. Elephants. They
That's true
remember
though.
everything.
My earlier point about like multiple ways to like say get to a banana that you're trying to get to that's like stemming you. Once you get the elephant, you just there's
Whoa.
limitations, but you can just suck up everything. Suck
Yeah.
it up, everything.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this just made me think like, what if this game had Zelda like full-on dungeons where you were just an animal? You went into this dungeon and it was like a couple hours long or a full layer, a layer where you were just
That's a cool
this
idea.
new
Yeah.
transformation.
Yeah,
That would have been so cool. And you could have catered challenges to that creature.
yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of half measures in this game that it really does feel like the metaphor of throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what sticks. A lot of it sticks. This game is fun.
It's a lot of
But
great
I feel
ideas.
like some iteration and some tweaks could really turn this into something special, that kind of like what we thought it was going to be, where it was going to be an Odyssey or transcend an Odyssey even.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that
they could get there with
fell
this.
short
If they
for me.
do another DK
Yeah.
game using the bones of this and they refine a lot of these things, like I feel like this could have an entry in this series that is Odyssey quality, because this was close. It's just there are a few core things, and the difference between like an elite game and a really good game isn't much, but simultaneously feels like a lot. And so it's like
Is one gets delayed and the
Yeah.
other comes out
Right.
early. Isn't that what he said?
something like that. Something like
That
that.
famous quote.
Yeah. No, I think
So
the difference is when the dev is quiet for 8 years and then they come out of hiding and say, "Oh, sorry, we were just having
yes.
fun."
Sorry, we were having a blast. That's exactly how you do it. So yeah, I think I went from like this is a 9.5 easy to like after thinking about it and finishing the game, I'm closer to an 8.5.
Okay. I'm kind
of
of leaning 9.
still
I
a
feel like
great game, but
there's enough room between 10, but it's also
yeah.
I feel like they did enough amazingly creative and interesting things, and it has juice to it. Like it's addictive, it's great. It is still DK, like it's good.
Yeah.
If you like DK, if you like
So
Mario, play it.
Are there any other elements you want to touch on? I mean, the Pauline character, I actually really enjoyed. I thought that her
Mhm.
voice actor crushed it. Like
Crushed it.
her character could have been so obnoxious and intrusive, and instead her voice actor was so endearing that I became endeared to Pauline the character. I looked forward to every hideout that I found where she had her little bespoke dialogue depending on where you were at, or just little ramblings to DK as you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
um very very endearing, I would say. I really loved her character. I loved the music theming. Anytime you can properly make a game around music as a
Yeah.
theme, it just is so good. I love when you her little sing button to like unlock challenge areas. I would always spin in a circle and she'd be doing her like ooh oh, oh,
Yeah.
and
It
it's
was
just so
nice. Yeah.
good. Like I loved it. I loved Pauline's character. After I got over the weirdness of Odd Rock turning into a 13-year-old girl, I was glad that
You realize that
they
was
did
the right choice. Yeah.
all
I
along.
It's what
yeah,
you really
you know what?
wanted.
Yeah, I'm with you. Uh no, I thought so too. The voice actors did a great job. The those elements of the story were good. The gameplay of like singing, it was weird, but it fit. In the lore stuff with Pauline, I think is interesting too. And it, as much as I made the joke that it's like, oh, it's like the Nintendo Cinematic Universe or whatever, I
It's
feel like
literally what that is.
it's what it is. But I will say the lore of who Pauline becomes, and then DK and kind of the King Kong vibes with Pauline, um, and tying it into New Donk City and stuff, it works. It's good. It's not a derogatory as much as it is like,
Yeah,
I wish
it's
we'd
like
gotten a
it
little
works.
more.
It's good. I really like it, but I also just want DK to be his own thing sometimes. Like,
I
can we just
wish
get a
we'd gotten
DK
more
game?
of the
Like, I
DK
want
flavor
both,
and
maybe.
personality in addition to that. And I think that's possible. I guess one other thing is I feel like DK himself felt a little bit more of like just a dumb monkey in this one, where he's just like, the only thing he likes is
Isn't he kind of
bananas.
always?
Kind of. That's true.
I guess I
Yeah.
don't know enough about DK.
I guess what I was missing is I feel like I could have gotten just a teeny bit more of his personality from him. But
Right. He was bordering Cloud personality there, except way more
yeah, no,
likable.
he is way more likable than Cloud. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if Cloud just loved
Cloud
bananas?
hates bananas.
Yeah,
He probably hates them
he
because
does,
he's an idiot.
or he thinks
He
he does, but
hates
he just
like
won't.
bananas.
He won't
He's like,
try them.
I hate sand. That's Cloud.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
I hate bananas.
I hate bananas. Have you ever tried one? No. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, um, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else.
We're
to
just
add right
gonna
now.
we're gonna diss Cloud every podcast now.
Cloud deserves.
You got
at least-
nothing else?
especially-
What about upgrade? How did you feel about upgrading Donkey Kong? A skill tree.
I liked it.
Is
I
that
liked
good?
it.
I thought it was fine.
I mean, the upgrade skill tree itself was kind of basic, but what I liked about it is that the collectibles had a very direct benefit. So some of these earlier collectathons, like, Mario 64 is one of my favorites of all time. You're just getting these stars, and eventually, like, to get to progressive areas, you need a certain number of stars. And so there's some utility,
Yeah.
but I liked the idea that the bananas directly are like giving you utility. Every 5 bananas you're getting another point, and that's kind of starting to upgrade your abilities, and I thought it worked well. That didn't need to be as revolutionary, but it added utility to
Yeah.
the collecting that you were doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. I hated the snake. The snake was terrible. Whoever decided the snake bounces everywhere,
It's a
fire
weird choice.
that man.
I actually
hated the snake.
did not mind the snake.
Really? Oh my
For the most
gosh.
part.
Every time I had to use the snake, I was just like, oh, it just was so the movement was so painful to me. Like, why couldn't the snake have slithered around and been able to bounce?
Yeah,
I wish like short hopping everywhere was driving me insane.
I wish you could have slithered and then also bounced. I would guess they were trying not to compete with the zebra that ran. So that's another thing where it's like,
it doesn't have to slither fast, just normal movement slither speed. Good lord.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I agree with that. I liked using the bouncing stuff though. That was fun enough.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think. I mean, narratively, this gets crazy. Did you enjoy the narrative and where it went?
Yeah. Again, the narrative kind of felt a little Marvel in the sense that it gets like very big and epic in scope, and which is fine. Like, I think the personal drama or relationship and like, DK and Pauline and her trying to like make it back to the surface. There's enough like personal stakes there that like I cared about the characters, and the plot was cool. it was fine. And then there's, I don't want to give anything away, but
Are you
there's
are
like,
you a diehard? You're not like a diehard Donkey Kong fan.
not Die Hard, but I've played some of them. I like DK.
Because I feel like this probably hit for diehard Donkey Kong fans. But for me personally, like the reveal at the end is cool. I found it cool.
Yes.
But like I also feel like the Void Crew or Void Co. I thought they were plenty fine to sustain a game as the villains. Donkey Kong, Pauline, and Void Co. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I would have been fine with that.
I kind of would have preferred that because I feel like sometimes when you bring something in the 11th hour, it feels less.
Yeah,
earned.
it kind of felt
I kind of
shoehorned and a little over the top.
Prefer for that to be its own, to get its own space to breathe, and especially given
like I get what they were
implying
doing
about,
at the end of the game. Sorry, Kel, I know this is, but I get what they were doing with the final boss and how that paid off for certain people. But to me, it just felt like a different game almost at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, I've played
it
enough
felt like
that
a
like
different game.
that was like I've played enough Donkey Kong that I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing now. But even I was like, as much as it was cool to like see that in some ways, I kind of wish that was in a different place in its own thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, when I compare the final hours of Bonanza to the first few hours, and granted, maybe that's not a fair thing to say, but like they just feel like different video games. And I get that sometimes happens over the course of a video game, but to me, they feel incongruent. Like they just didn't.
I know. I
they don't belong in the same.
I don't want to say too much more
right
to like not spoil anything, but I fully agree with that. And I'm someone who's played some of the other DK games, so
this game has plenty of charm, though. Like I said, the little hideouts and the little gem characters you meet everywhere, and a lot of the music is really good. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I gotta say, I was not at all expecting you guys to compare it to Marvel in any way as much as you did.
Not on your bingo card?
No.
I mean, it really is. It's weird to watch Nintendo, like, as they start to jump into, you have the Mario movies, and I'm sure I think they're making a DK movie. Like, they own Disney. This is what's happening. Everything is going to become the cinematic universe of its own universe. And eventually Donkey Kong and Star Wars and Marvel will all exist in the exact same cinematic universe, probably. Like, and then the world will end. Like,
yeah,
this is where we're headed. So
it'll be like matter and antimatter colliding when the universes become too.
Yeah, it'll be like splitting the atom entertainment wise,
right?
And everything will everything will just go out.
That's right.
Can't come soon enough. Okay, I don't know if I'm sure I have more. I should have taken better notes. I feel like we bagged on Donkey Kong a lot, but I also feel like this is an important discussion to have because a lot of the discussion I've heard about Donkey Kong feels surface level to me. And it's just like, yeah, fun game, Smash, like they just crushed it. It's as good as or better than Odyssey. And I feel like there's a lot of nuance here to actually pick apart in the gameplay, in some of the design choices, and some critiques to be had here, which I get. That's kind of our specialty. But like,
I think it's fair to, like, if we're going to compare it to Odyssey, like, we should be honest about that. It's a high bar. And
it's also, a high bar, yeah.
I know, like, I think it gets interesting talking about the things that we think could have been, like, I think we have a lot of fun doing that because it's fun to try and figure out what really could elevate this. But we're very positive on it. You're at an 8.5. I'm at a 9-ish.
Yeah. This is a must play. If you want to Switch 2,
an incredible,
you got to play it.
New Switch 2 game. Like in quality, it's near it. Like it's in the same ballpark. But
yeah. And
so
if you reach the halfway point, if you reach X layers down, and you're like, I've kind of had my fill. Like, all right then. I still think the first 5 to 10 hours of this game are must play. Whether or not you finish it is up to you. I do think it has some great payoffs, and I plan to get back to it, and I have some more things to wrap up. I got pulled away from some of the end game, but it has a decent end game too. After the credits, there's a lot to smash and a lot to find. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where Calvin lands on it once he, I guess, borrows my Switch too. I don't know.
Borrow your Switch.
That's, I guess, when you're up here for a couple weeks, Calvin, you got to get through DK.
Yeah, we got other plans already.
That's all you're gonna do for 4 days. You're just gonna play Donkey Kong. I'm gonna put you in a dark room with the Switch 2 and the power cord, and you're not allowed to come out.
Yeah, no food until you finish.
To be fair, that's kind of
no food or water.
That's not far from what happened with Inscription, and I love that.
That's true.
And you're a better man for it.
You lost an entire weekend. Yeah. All right, from there, let's do a hard left turn and talk about the other the other big one for me and for Calvin, we'll let Zach feel left out on this one.
Sweet.
Okay, we can. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I have two things to talk about. One is this, and then I have
one can wait.
A smaller one, but
you can host next week, Calvin. I just figured we'd get the big ones out of the way. I don't know if Zach has another big one, but we played Overture.
That's all I got.
Overture. Oh, that's right. You were Donkey Kong and done. So now Zach is going to practice his podcast listeing, as we talked about at the outset, which makes a great podcaster.
That wasn't listening.
Yeah, you immediately made words while you were practicing fake listening.
How do you feel about that? Sorry, what'd you say?
I mean, asking questions is part of it.
I was thinking about what I was going to say.
Sure. That was an excellent story. Brilliantly told, by the way. Now you tell one. Overture was the other big one that finally came out. We got this was a day and date release or a shadow drop, was it? Yeah, it was a shadow drop.
Yeah, it was a shadow drop.
Day and date release, yeah.
So we picked it up. Me and Calvin, we're huge Lies of Peers.
That's why we call you the P Boys.
The P Boys, the P Brothers.
P Bros.
Those P lying bros. P Brothers.
The slightly lesser known bros. Waiting for Nintendo to pick us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the P Bros. So Lies of P is legitimately probably the best Souls-like game to have ever come from anyone other than FromSoft, and honestly is better than several FromSoft games in my estimation, and I think yours too, Calvin.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So very, very eagerly awaited DLC. Will it be? It can't be Elden Ring. It can't be that size and scope. Could it be? I don't know. The original game was so much bigger than you and I ever thought when we were playing it. I remember getting to like the third point, thinking we thought maybe that was like half. The end. I thought it was like a third.
Yeah.
Anyways, excellent game. Extreme quality. Amazing world. What they've done with like the fable of Pinocchio and mix and mashing it in this very fantastical Dark Souls Pinocchio world is just it's cool. It's so good. The story is so like iRobot, or it's very AI coded, and like the puppets have come to life.
I'm pretty sure the Grand Covenant is directly almost exactly from iRobot, the original,
which is a trope probably before iRobot, but like just robots can't harm humans.
But I'm pretty sure iRobot was a book before the
iRobot
movie,
the book created or the
Foundation
of
Robotics
created that trope in like the 50s.
Yeah,
it's very much that with a puppet coding to it, and it's so good. It's just like, okay, where is the line between what is sentience and sapience, and when does something become humanity? And it does all that stuff. It does it so well in a package that looks fantastic and plays even better. It has the highs of a Dark Souls 3 or a Bloodborne with the mechanical precision of a Sekiro, and kind of mixes and mashes those to like great effect. So here we are. We got the DLC finally, long awaited. Not quite as long as Silksong, but quite anticipated. And what would you give it, Cal? How did you feel about it?
I mean, for me, it's at least a 9, maybe a 10 out of 10. I have really no nitpicks about it, like really, really minor stuff that just doesn't matter. But I can't really find anything to gripe about. I think it was about perfect.
10 out of 10.
I think I would concur. I try not to be too stingy with a 10 out of 10. I fall into the camp of like, yes, nothing's perfect, but if something pretty much near perfectly does what it sets out to do, I think that's a 10 out of 10. Yeah. And if it hits for you, right? And I think that this DLC sets out to do to be more Lies of P, to shed a lot more light on the story, and introduce a lot more like emotional narrative and moments with characters, and create all this backstory to characters you knew in the base game, and then also continue to be functionally Lies of P with great combat, great environments, great boss fights. And I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it just does all of that perfectly. It gives us a handful. My only complaint with the DLC and it's not even it's a stretch to call it a complaint. I wish it was a little bit longer. I could have another 5 hours, another boss or two would have been about perfect.
Like one more
But
area,
I
maybe.
also wouldn't call it short.
No.
I just I think we're spoiled sometimes with FromSoft DLC or
Yeah. When the last DLC
you know,
we played was Shadow of the Erd Tree.
sure, it's the bar is set a little too
Yeah.
high, but even at the length, I would say the length of the base game of Lies of P, for this being $30, I do think another 5 hours or so would have really but maybe we're just too good. Maybe we're really good gamers. Maybe it was supposed to take another 5. It would take in
How
Zach
long
another 15 hours. So
Yeah, this is for me. I'm going to get 200 hours out of this DLC.
there you go.
How long was the DLC roughly? Would you say?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I didn't look at how my play time. I don't remember. So
I'm willing to say it should have been 5 hours longer, and I have no idea how long it was. I would say the DLC probably took, I would say, 12 to 15 hours.
Okay, and the base game is what, 30 to 40?
Which is a lot. That's a lot for a DLC. I would say the base game is probably between 30 and 40, depending on skill. Yeah.
So that's not a bad. I hear what you're saying. Like I feel like Erd Tree is one of those games where it's like the DLC is like it was like half the game. It was like half the base game or more, which is more than.
But Erd Tree was also 40 or 50.
Yeah, Erd Tree was crazy. Erd Tree was like
it was more. This DLC was $30. So I think you're getting value. Yeah. I would never tell someone if you love Lies of P, this is worth every dollar.
Absolutely. Just a little bit further on, for me, it being a 10 out of 10. I loved the base game of Lies of P when I first played it. And it's been in my top 10. It's been like one of my all-time favorite games since. But it never quite cracked beating out some of these FromSoft titles or some of my other favorite Souls games. And for me, the DLC, for whatever reason, the DLC's own quality and content, but also I think going through the DLC, it made me kind of reflect on how much I really liked the base game. And the DLC now, it's risen Lies of P's ranks for me to where, I mean, spoilers if we ever do any sort of discussion on this, but I feel pretty confident saying that now Lies of P is my all-time favorite Souls game, even among any other FromSoft.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, that's actually really exciting.
That's crazy.
It feels
dude.
a little hard for me to fathom that, but that I love to hear that because I've played about a third of Lies of P, enough to be fully immersed in the quality and to love it. And I agree that it's like on par.
And yet you won't finish it.
I will. It's just I had Bonanza, and now I got Silksong. I had monkeys, now I have bugs, and then I have puppets.
Monkeys, bugs, then puppets.
In that order. It's nice to hear that because we don't want a world where only FromSoft is good at this genre. Like,
it's so great to see other studios come out and start to compete in the same weight class as FromSoft, because we just win as gamers when that happens.
Yeah. Totally. It'll push FromSoft,
it's hard.
And we'll just have more to play.
Now that Lies of P is a complete package with its DLC, it's hard not to just say this is a 10 out of 10 must-play experience for anyone who likes Souls games. And it's hard not to say it's not in the discussion for a top 5 game all time if you like this genre. Like, it's just, the base game was so good. And I feel like the base game even told a story better than FromSoft ever has. And I know you're going to have the sickos who are like, in the lore, if you read that, like, it's just, most people aren't digging that hard into it.
I like learning about the world from the backside of the barrels.
Vodividya or whatever.
I do, and I actually am someone who enjoys, like when I finished Dark Souls 3 and then Dark Souls 1, when I finished all the FromSoft games, I did go back and I would listen to hours of lore videos.
Yeah, but you enjoyed that. But wouldn't you have enjoyed it if it had it served it to you in the way Lies of P does?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. I do enjoy that, but Lies of P delivery is infinitely better in my opinion.
There's a mystique to FromSoft doing that for some reason. However, it's generally not what I prefer, and I also like getting the story a little better, and I agree with that.
Yeah, and so my line of thought there was that the base game, I think, was already quite a bit better than anything FromSoft has done narratively, like in showing the player and getting you to feel about characters. The DLC blows it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was so much more invested in new characters, in characters I already knew. This DLC hits narratively in a way that I don't know that I've ever felt in a FromSoft or in a Souls game, in any Souls game.
Yeah.
I just was invested in the story, in the characters, in the payoff, what was going to happen. It had moments that really hit, and that goes such a long way when you already love the gameplay and the world building of a genre, and then you get to add in some spice of some like narrative moments that genuinely hit.
Yeah.
That really does go next level.
The DLC
Agreed.
had moments, particularly towards the end, but the DLC genuinely had moments that had me a little bit choked up, and like they delivered it, and it's so well done.
Yeah, I could not be more stoked for whatever they're doing next with I
And
guess we won't say because Zach hasn't gotten the reveal, but like wherever they're going next,
mhm.
I just
truths of Q.
Exactly. Truths of Q.
To speak on that,
Had to real quick go through the alphabet in my mind.
P's and Q's, P's and Q's.
What's after P?
Yeah, the anticipation of whatever their next game is going to be, and the little bit teaser that we have about that, it's hard to really get so excited until it is more of a real thing and we know more about it.
Oh,
but
I'm so excited.
That actually, theoretically, that has me as excited as something like Silksong. Like there's not much
let's not be exaggerative. Let's not be exaggerative.
Close.
I mean, let's be exaggerative. It does have me as excited as Silksong. Let's not be. It doesn't. Like,
on second,
but we're close. Like it's the only thing I can think of right now that I would be anticipating with that. Like, just like I cannot wait to see what they're working on next, because they have shown that they have it. They have the quality, they have the sauce, and they're doing it, man. So
yeah,
you guys have convinced me that. So the rest of the year for me is right now Silksong, then it has to be Yote because I'm a huge fan of Ghost of Tsushima. But then after that,
gonna be good.
Lies of P. Like those are my games. Like I'm gonna do Lies of P before I go back to Death Stranding 2, before I go back to some of the other big games that I might plate. I'm not gonna.
And then that'll maybe work out for Death Stranding 2 in like late December, which might be a good time for Death Stranding 2.
Maybe, I think so. Yeah. So that's kind of my plan is Silksong, Yote, Lies of P.
Do we want to? I mean, we obviously avoiding spoilers as much as we can, but do we want to discuss?
I'll just take my headphones off.
The bosses or any new additions to combat or anything.
Zach is so ugly.
Hey, it's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler for our audio listeners.
Tune into YouTube where you can see for yourself.
Yeah, you can rate him in the comments.
See my
please.
ugly mug every 2 months.
No, yeah, before we move on, I was just gonna say this is Lies of P. At the end of the day, it's just as good. It continues to be good. The combat, not a lot of the moment-to-moment gameplay changes. There's more weapons. I will say they added some new Legion arms that I liked way more. I feel like they realized that the range Legion arm brings a dynamic essence to combat that is it really complements the gameplay. And so they added several new ranged Legion arms in the DLC, and they play so good and they're so fun to use. Other than that, it's just Lies of P, but we get a new roster of like 5 bosses. Depends on how you count them. They count them weird.
I know, but
5 or 6, 4 to 6, but great bosses. Man,
not a single one I dislike at all.
Oh, they're so good. Every one of them is like, ooh, this would be in the top 10 of the whole game. Like, they're just really good.
It's kind of like Bloodborne Old Hunters, where it's like 5 main bosses, but 4 out of those 5 were like some of the best in the whole game.
Yeah, they crushed it. The locales you go to are very cool, but I will say before whatever you're going to say, just the final boss of the DLC is an all-timer.
Yeah,
it is 100% a nameless king. Ishin.
Yeah,
it's an all-time boss fight.
All right,
it's just
I'll play it.
Oh,
it's pretty intense.
Theming, character, mechanics, it's just like it's one for the books. So
Sweet.
what a way to end the DLC. They just crescendoed everything so perfectly with this DLC.
Love
Absolutely. And then I was gonna also mention the final boss, but one of the other bosses in the DLC is also probably up there for top favorite bosses in the entire game for me, and it's so unique and original to any Souls like boss I've ever fought in any other game. It introduced uh it's hard to describe without spoilers, but it introduced a new mechanic and a new way that you had to approach the fight that I had never seen, and it was so much fun to
You talking
figure
about the
out
two
and
v
get good
one?
at. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's a gank fight. It's 2v1, um, which we've seen done horribly and we've seen done well a few times. It has to be calibrated so right, because
Mm-hmm.
truly fighting two things at once is a terrible concept.
Yeah.
But if you have a tag team approach to it and the AI is correct, it can be so good. And this
They
boss
nailed
fight
it.
is they nailed it. It's such a fascinating dance that you learn between who to focus on and when to focus on them, and it's a really
And
really well done tag team fight.
it was a
Interesting.
really
Okay.
cool part of it too made me realize how good just they made the lock on and the switching lock on
Yeah,
mechanic, because the crux of
minimal
this fight
camera
for me
issues.
was, I would lock onto one, and then as soon as I knew an attack was coming from the other, I would just toggle over to the direction I knew they were. It would
Yeah,
automatically lock me onto them, and I would be able to instantly parry, and it just worked so smoothly than I
it
would
did
ever think it
create
could.
I'm not sure I've ever fully utilized that in a Souls game where you're just flicking your lock on to a different direction to quickly lock on, parry, and then move back, or like it just
Yeah,
kind of created almost a new
it's
unlock in your brain of
a
like
new
how to
sense
do
of
this
gameplay.
combat. And
Like,
yeah, it was
yeah,
really good. So great boss fights. And then the last thing I want to say about the DLC is it brought in the I can't think of the word, the gauntlet. What do we call this? Just boss rush mode. It what, not really. You can
um,
refight old bosses.
boss rematch. Yeah,
Boss rematch. And I kind
challenge.
of wish they had done a little more with it. I wish the rewards were more interesting, because we loved. I mean,
If there
we
was outfits,
played the crap. Yeah, if there were outfits, man,
I
we played
know.
the crap out of Sekiro to get those outfits. And it's a gauntlet where you face. I think the one we did at the end was every boss in the game,
Yeah,
right?
it's every boss
In a
plus the
row,
harder versions of those bosses.
in a row. And if
Yeah,
you die, you have to restart. You have to beat them all without dying. And that was
That's
just like,
insane.
and it
Yeah.
had enough incentive, and we had a blast. This is a little bit more pared back. It's just you can
one at a
refight
time, one
every
boss at a time.
boss one at a time, but they have tiers of difficulty, and I think the base game tends to be around like 3, and then you work your way up to 5, like 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 difficulty, and it does it. I think
They
it
get
even
pretty
changes their
intense.
move sets a little bit. You have to perfect these fights, and
Yeah,
so I
because they
did get
do
lost in that a little
insane
bit.
damage and have a lot
I
of health.
finished. I think I finished the entire base game
Wow.
of the
The
boss roster.
furthest
I
the
did
furthest
not.
I
I
made
stopped
it
at the DLC though.
the furthest I made it before I got distracted and started playing other stuff was I got to the king. Wait, no, I almost said the name of a boss that Zach has
Well,
not.
a
Yeah,
puppet's got to have a king, Calvin.
yeah.
What
I
is this,
made
a
it.
democracy?
Um,
Yeah.
so I made it to that fight, and I never did beat that one on 5. I got very stuck.
Yeah. It's something I'd see myself going back to when I'm kind of craving some Liza P,
Yeah,
just going back
Yeah.
and finishing out these boss fights, and it's just a good place to be. So what a game. It's crazy. These guys, we're seeing this more and more where these studios come literally out of nowhere
is that
and just
Neo is?
hit a home run on their first game. No,
I
no.
thought that
Something
what's
10. Now I have to look it
I
up.
thought it was Neo is. Oh,
I'll look it up. Calvin,
all right.
what's Zach? Oh, you're out of games. Calvin, what's your?
I'm out of
Well,
games.
shoot, I should
What am I looking
maybe
at?
go because I have a million games. You can interrupt me in a second. You look it up while I move on to our next
Wait,
game.
what am I looking up? I missed that.
Who is the developer for Lies of P? It's something 10, Team 8, or it's something like that.
Yeah.
Round 8 Studio.
Round 8.
Round
There it is. I
8.
got the right
What
number
is
eventually.
Neo Wiz is what is Neo Wiz then?
I don't know, P brother. I don't know what that is. Neo. That's what made me think of it as Neo Wiz. Okay.
Oh, interesting that
Um,
the top search result, this is a tangent. The top search result for Liza P is that the round eight's next big project will be a
don't
sci-fi.
read stuff.
Don't read
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay. It's not about Liza P.
No,
Well,
Okay.
no,
I
their
just
next
don't
thing
spoil
after
yourself.
the next thing after
yeah,
the,
you're
just the next thing
don't.
they're working on after their DLC.
Did you
Yeah, don't spoil
yourself?
it. You might have already spoiled it.
Yeah, I think you did.
Although he said sci-fi. I don't even know what you're reading, but I wouldn't be reading any of that. What are you doing?
Okay. Well, I was looking up the name of the studio as the top result.
Although I don't know
It
what you
said the
found because
King
that
of
doesn't sound
Puppets
like what I know.
is
But anyways,
actually a
it's
popper.
actually
That's the
Darth. It's
spoiler.
Anakin Skywalker. Um, Another game I played in August. I played a Haste.
Mm.
Really good game. Really good game. I'll be fielding questions now. No,
How
small
was
indie
it?
game.
I
It's a
wasn't
really good
listening.
game.
I was
Great
looking
question.
up Neoliths.
Great question.
I was reading
Yeah,
spoilers
I don't know
for
where
the
you got me.
Liza P extended cinematic universe.
You guys go ahead. I'll wait.
I played like a teeny bit of Haste, so I've had a taste of Haste,
Let's not be
as,
hasteful.
as they
Hasty.
say.
Can you be hasteful?
Full
I
of
don't think you
haste.
can be hasteful.
Hasteful. That's
Hasteless.
hasteless.
That's all right. Well,
Tell us
I
about
played
Haste.
it.
What did you think?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It was a really nice palate cleanser. It's a great palate cleanser of a game. Don't know the studio, small indie studio. I played it on PC and kind of went back and forth between PC and the Steam Deck. Runs great on the Steam Deck, and this is a great, if you're one who has a category of games or you keep things in buckets, this is the bucket of like flow state game. Just kind of like a game you can pop back into at any point in the future when you're just like, I just want something to kind of zen out to and get into a flow state. This game just crushes the gameplay feel so perfectly of I always think back to like just the old school phone games where you have like the little ball on the hill and then it goes up and then you have to like perfectly land on the other side of the hill. There's a name for whatever genre they're coining this as. I don't remember what it's called, but basically, yeah, you are just this protagonist, this flow light. It maybe. Did you look it up? That might be it.
No, that's me, and maybe what they call
That's off the dome.
it. We'll never know.
You're this girl who's like a runner. I think I don't know the lore of this universe, but like she delivers stuff, or she's like Sam Porter, but like Sonic Sam Porter. I don't know, but you run really fast, and there's these landscapes that are very hilly, very undulant, lots of undulance.
You really geared up to say
I think
that.
that's a word. I think that's a word.
It's an undulant like video game.
It's an undulant like, yes. And
That is a
so
word.
so you're running like a bajillion miles an hour, and when you go up and off a hill, you soar through the sky, and then I don't think there are many buttons in this game. You have a couple abilities, but the main button is you run, and then while you're in the air, you can push A or X or whatever to descend quicker. And so your goal is to like perfectly land on whatever
That literally
gradient
is
of
that
hill.
phone game.
Yeah, it is, except it's in 3D,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it works so good. It feels so good
And
to
to do
play.
it with
and
a controller is so much better than to do one of those things with like a touch screen.
Yeah.
And the art style is totally fun. And what they did is they actually bundled this all in a roguelite, which is surprising to me. And at first I was kind of like, not everything needs to be a roguelite. Why are we doing this? And maybe it would have been better if it was just a linear campaign of levels. But I also really enjoyed it. Like it had the roguelite fun of, you're picking your places you're going on your run, whether you need this or that or to heal, or I'll take on this boss challenge where something like this impending doom is behind you and you have to stay ahead of it or you die, and then you get a better reward at the end. And then you'll come to a shop level, and it has really cool, the vibes are it reminded me of Ollie Ollie World. Kind of has this like skater lo-fi pop vibe to the music, and a lot of it's just hitting. It just kind of started to really feel cozy as you get into it and learn the cadence of a run. And the game, all in all, depending on skill, not very long. I think you can beat it between 5 to 10 hours. I beat it pretty quickly. I kind of wish that there was more to it, actually. And there is, once you beat the game, you can unlock like kind of like Hades, where it's like, all right, now I can bump up the challenge even more and start taking on these runs. And I moved on to other things, but I do think it's a game I'll come back to. It nails the gameplay, and that's almost all it had to do. But it also has really charming characters and art style, and a world where the whole plot is basically you are outrunning the end of the universe,
Hmm.
and you're trying to figure out, you're in this like cycle, and you're trying to figure out what's happening and how to stop it, basically. And just a total fun game. It goes in the bucket of like, if I just need a really fun flow state platformer type game to play, there's nothing like it. And I actually do hope that we see this become um, a genre. Like I feel like we're getting so many games these days that it's inevitable, but we're seeing a lot of people go back to some of these old school, late 90s, early 2000s classic concepts, and then like kind of stretching them out and being like, what can we do with this with a modern game? And this is an example of like, this is kind of a genre unto itself, and could be, if we get more games like this, I would be down. It feels so good to play, and to just fly through the air and perfectly land on a hill and get a boost of speed. And meanwhile, you're going so fast and you're dodging. This is the best Sonic game that's ever come out in the last like 15 years. And I'm sorry to people who love Sonic. I haven't played them, so I can't say. But like, as I'm playing this, I'm like, this is what Sonic should be. You got to go fast. You're narrowly dodging between like cactuses and buildings and gaps, and then like perfectly landing on a hill, and it just feels so good to play. So
what happens if he hits something?
You lose a good amount of speed, and you take damage. You do have health. So you can die, and then also the more speed you lose, there's always kind of this impending universe collapse behind you. So you can get out way ahead of it if you're going really fast, but as you start to lose speed, it'll catch up with you and start doing tick damage until you die. So really good, really cool game. I think this is a 10 out of 10 for what it wanted to do. Like, it's just
look at this guy good. Throwing around tens. No, hey,
you get a 10. You get a 10.
I'm with you. If the game does what it sets out to do well,
look under your seat, Calvin.
Is that a 10?
It's a 10.
Oh my god!
Not telling you how I did that.
Oh, the case is empty.
That is a little concerning.
Had to oil your door hinges, but we got it done.
I mean, I always leave it unlocked, but that works too.
I just meant the creak and the noise.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on your brief hours with it? Did you get to feel like, oh, this game feels right? Or
I mean, a little bit. I could see how it'd be a flow state game. I was pretty bad at it, and I didn't get quite far enough
this
to
feels terrible.
This is really bad.
Everything and landing things on the upside of hills.
Yeah, I was like, I did a few runs and was like starting to sort of get the hang of it. And I think it's interesting. I would like to play a little more of it at some point. And I totally could see what you're saying. I think it's neat. I'm glad we have games that are doing stuff like that, because not everything needs to be a giant Souls-like or a huge RPG, open world, whatever. Like, it's nice to have variety in games. I like having like smaller scale portable type games to play, and this is definitely a good one.
The word that there's a YouTuber I watch that he's big on this, but like, it's a session game. It's a game you just pop in and you play a session of, and it just feels good. And that's all it has to be, and it does it really well. So if you need session games, I guess it would go in that bucket too. Haste is a good game.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on it. Okay. The end of my show and tell for Haste. What else did you play, Calvin?
My one other thing that I want to talk about is another DLC. Apparently I only play DLCs now. So
all the games have come out. All we have left are DLC.
Yeah, a while back, I played through Dark Souls 1 for the first time. We talked about that. So I recently jumped back in to do the DLC, the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. Not a ton to talk about because you guys haven't played all of Dark Souls 1 or any of it, let alone the DLC. But it is really cool. Obviously I'm playing.
I only play sequels and DLC, so I couldn't play Dark Souls 1.
I'm obviously playing all of this out of order. Like, Dark Souls 1 is one of the last ones that I'm getting to. And
how does it rank amongst the FromSoft pantheon of DLC? Is it big? Does it improve on
Um,
the base game?
I would say it's a similar size to like it's interesting because it's really not a big DLC. It just it's I'd say it's probably in size. It's probably most comparable to Ashes of Ariandel. Pretty small DLC,
Oh, that's small.
but it has more bosses. It has the boss quantity of like Ringed City. Because there's one, two, three. There's four main significant bosses.
Double the bosses.
Yeah. Um, but
So a pretty small area with 4 bosses. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, and it's just interesting to see again going out of order, but like seeing this was their first DLC. I believe this was FromSoft's first DLC for any game, right? It was Dark Souls
I
One.
think so. Yeah, I don't think
Um,
Demon Souls had DLC.
um, and it's just kind of cool to see like that their track record started with Dark Souls One, and it really did because the DLC is easily some of the best content in the entire game,
Really?
and it very much it's really cool. It does it, I mean minor spoilers if you ever actually play it, but it's a thing where you go back in time and you go back in time a couple hundred years
DLC
and
loves to do that.
yeah, but you're seeing the same world that you traversed in the base game, or at least parts of it, um, way in the past, and you're meeting characters that in the present in the main game are mythical or legend and only ever talked about. So it's very cool. But the bosses too. Dark Souls 1 bosses, base game, not the best. They're pretty rough. A real low point. But
They suck. They make me want to cry.
yeah, it's not what's great about the
I
game.
could go on.
Um, but again, the DLC, it was the best they had done to that point. It's still Dark Souls 1, it's still slower, a little bit jankier, but I think they reached the pinnacle of what Dark Souls 1 combat and boss fights can be with that DLC, which was really cool. And it actually made some of those boss fights really thoroughly enjoyable and challenging without being too janky or anything. So,
Yeah.
really cool stuff.
Cool.
Hard,
Did
yeah,
it
hard,
improve your estimation of Dark Souls 1 or did it just kind of
it absolutely did
does it land
because
about where it was when you finished the base game? You think it improved it?
it improved my overall estimation of the game because I think before the DLC, um, it's just there's almost no bosses in the base game that are really noteworthy in much of a good way. It's
It's
like
The
the
DLC
level
actually
design.
has bosses that you would be like, "All right, that was a good boss fight."
yes,
Yeah, so
No.
the star of the show for the first game, the base game, is the level design, right? And some of
Yeah.
the
yeah,
lore, and
yeah,
then the bosses and the DLC amp it up a bit.
yeah. And so I think with the DLC, between the setting and the story that's happening, you're seeing the world hundreds of years ago, and you're affecting things that actually do technically have an effect in the main game if you do it right. It's pretty cool. That's all really cool, and then the bosses are just the best that they have been. I really think if I had played Dark Souls 1 back in the day and I had any sort of nostalgia associated with all this, there's at least one boss in the DLC that I think could be an all-time great boss for me, but it just can't quite crack that because
Old
DS1 is
game's old.
it's inherently
Yeah.
old and slower, but it's still very good. And so if there's any nostalgia attached to that, there's a boss that would be top 10
Okay.
quality for sure.
Okay. I will get to it at some point, whether it's
Yeah.
literally this remaster or if they do a full remake, which doesn't feel like from soft style, but
It
maybe if
doesn't
they break up into if they
it
ever
have
kind
it'd have
of
to be Blue Point or
they're
something.
getting bigger and they have multiple projects, so I could see them devoting some resources to a Dark Souls 1 remake. That's how I would see it happening.
Yeah.
From soft core team would probably never do it, but
Yeah.
cool.
But it's worth
Your Dark Souls 1
experiencing
journey.
for sure because I mean, I talked about this when I talked about the base game, but it's such a mixed bag because of how the bosses in the base game are just pretty bad for the most part.
I kind of just want
And
to play Dark Souls 1 modded with good bosses, you know?
yeah, what sucks is because I
Just put Dark Souls 3 bosses in there.
yeah, because bosses are one of the biggest things in a Souls like that matters to me and makes such a difference. And the fact that that's just such a problem in DS1 sucks, but it's just a testament to the world design and the world itself, and experiencing that is actually that good to kind of justify the bosses. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. What's your next FromSoft? Do you have anything left? Just the
um
remake?
yeah, just the remake. Oh well, no,
No, you're playing 2, right?
yeah, I've started Dark Souls 2, but
Okay,
I've
nice.
and I'm like one or two areas in. I won't say too much on that yet, but yeah, that's getting put on hold for several other games. It's a lower
For
priority. I
for
want to finish
reasons.
it, but you know,
For sure.
Overture and Silk Song kind of take priority over that.
Right.
For sure. All right, well, bear with me, gentlemen. I've got a few more small games to talk about here. Bionic Bay. Either of you know what Bionic Bay is?
Bay as in
Is that your
Like She My Bay.
robotic
No.
mistress? Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah,
You got there before me, but yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what it
I was
is.
wondering
No, it's
if it was like
BAY.
Lagoon.
Yes, correct. It is.
Yeah,
It is
that's-
somewhat synonymous with lagoon. What is synonymous with lagoon? Correct, Calvin. Bionic. I think we got that. There's no jokes to be had there. I don't think that I can find at the moment. But do either of you know about this game? I think Zach might.
No,
Just a little. You told me a
Brought it
little bit
up.
about it. That's
Yeah.
all I know. Is
and
the-
you've
the
told
little
me
you
nothing.
shared.
Well, I don't like you very much. So
Yeah. What do you think you're? P
no,
brother?
it's yeah. What do you, shut up, P brother.
I'm the P brother now.
You haven't even
I
played
am
Lies of
I
P.
am the P brother now.
I've played it. I'm a third of the way into it.
Yeah, you got to finish Lies of P before you can be a P
yeah,
brother.
that's true.
I'll tell you how the initiation
I'm just a
goes
wee
later,
brother,
off camera.
Not yet a P brother. Sorry, can go Bionic Bay. Let's get
Bionic
back
Bay.
on track.
So this is I mean, at the outset, if you're looking at this, it's an inside limbo like looking game, very much so, which is a genre that I really like. I really like Limbo and Inside. I think they're excellent games, and so I had my eyes on this one. It got really good reviews on
So
Steam.
it's a
I think
2D side scroller.
yeah, it's a 2D side scroller. Now the thing I will tell you that is different, and you kind of have to go into this knowing that, or you have to adjust. I had to adjust my expectation or understanding of what this game is, because Limbo and Inside are very slow moving ones of these types of games where you're kind of
like
trudging.
stealth and
You're trudging, and you're kind of, there's a little secret here or there, or this puzzle that the puzzles are very like centerpieces, or like you come to an area and it's like, this is a puzzle I need to figure out for a little bit, right? Bionic Bay is a very different moment to moment gameplay. It's a lot quicker. And what actually helped me wrap my mind around it, because at first I was like, this is really weird and it wasn't clicking, but it reminded me a lot of the days when I used to make those free rider levels, where it's just like these crazy levels, and you just give it to someone and they try and get through the level. It reminded me of that. Obviously this is a much higher quality evolved version of that, but like, you're moving a lot quicker through these areas. You're kind of sprinting through areas, you're doing platforming, you're solving a puzzle, and then you're gone, and you're solving the next puzzle and then the next puzzle. It's a lot more rapid in that way. And once I kind of realized that, and I stopped kind of moving slowly or trying to look for secrets, it's just not that kind of game. I haven't looked at the trophy list. Maybe there are secrets. I never found anything. It's much more of a you just move through the level as briskly as you can. You're solving puzzles, you go. And the other thing about it is very physics based. I think that's probably in the description, is it's a physics based puzzle platformer is really what it is. And so your guy that you control has a certain weight and momentum and inertia to him. All the objects in the world have similar things, and the abilities that you unlock are very sci-fi physics based. You unlock like a teleporter where you can like attach something to an object, and then you can go somewhere else and hit a button, and you'll switch places with that object. and the object will, if it's in the air, it'll fall and have physics, and you'll fall and have physics. And if the object you switched with was under another object, you'll get crushed and die. Like there's
That is all.
a lot of
That
things.
that is all very much reminding me of particularly like late game Limbo, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say it's maybe a little slow to ramp up because, like I said, in the opening hour or two, I was kind of like, there was a moment where I was like, I might fall off this. Like, I don't know if it's clicking. And like I said, I kind of came to understand. I wrapped my mind around what this game was doing, what it wanted to be. It was different than Limbo or Inside. And then also it does ramp up with the abilities and the puzzle design. And there's some really cool, also visually, this game is visually very cool sci-fi just world that you're in. Very, I don't know, hard to explain. Look it up, people. I don't have words. But really cool. And you end up playing as two different characters. One is like a dude who's lighter on his feet and has much more speed and momentum. And then you also play as a little robot dude who is like much heavier and has a lot more weight to his steps. And they both have different abilities, leaning into different puzzles. You know, sometimes you're manipulating time, sometimes you're teleporting. There's some really cool stuff in here, and they start to combine it toward the end of the game. And all in all, it's probably a 5 to 8 hour game. Again, a smaller one, but I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Very much sounds like something I would enjoy.
Yeah, if you like the inside Limbo type games and you also like a little bit of puzzles and stuff, like I said, just go into this expecting that the cadence of play is a lot quicker. You're not looking around for secrets and stuff. You're just getting through the level, solving puzzles, using your momentum. So really fun little game though. Great little indie gem there.
Cool.
Any further questions before we move on with our tour?
No, sir.
Sounds
Next
cool.
game.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
on
not
to the
a
next
question.
one. On to the next one. My
right,
question is, please continue.
Please continue.
Please.
All right, I got two more. Let's end on what I think is maybe the highlight of the not the highlight of the month because it's a good month, but like one of the highlights. So I'll do this one first, which was also really good. By the way, PS Plus Extra this month was killing it. I played 2 of these games off PS Plus Extra day one, and they were both really good games. So, you know, that's always you love to see it. It's not free, but I didn't have to
Plus Extra.
Plus Extra. I know, what are we doing with our lives? Rogue Prince of Persia. Do you guys know about this one?
I heard a little bit about it, but I haven't.
So we got the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and that was the full on
Ubisoft.
Dude. Was it last year? I thought it was.
Yeah,
that was last year.
2.
Pretty sure.
Prince of Persia.
What can you do?
I'm pretty sure that might have been. Yeah, I think that was January.
I think it was 23.
Nah, it was January of 24.
Because I think.
Oh, that's cheating. That's basically 23.
Because I remember it was in my.
By that logic, I was born in.
It was in the lower
We're
end
both
of my
right.
top 10.
We're both right.
For last year.
Last year. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyways, it was kind of funny. This game was announced. The Rogue Prince of Persia was announced, and it was kind of like, why are we getting an inundation of side-scrolling Metroidvania Prince of Persia games all of a sudden? Like, they're everywhere. But this was in early access, which I don't really tend to touch early access games, but it came out 1.0 in August and released day and date on PS Plus Extra. And this is a roguelite. It's a full-size game. It's a roguelite though. The best comparison for you, Calvin, and maybe for someone else listening, hopefully, would be that this falls into the bucket of not quite a Hades, but we're talking like Curse of the Dead Gods type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a roguelite and it's got Metroidvania elements. You can look at the art style. It's got cool art style. I really liked it. I really liked the character design and the enemy design. And but yeah, probably not enough people have played Curse of the Dead Gods, but it's just the whole thing of like you play through a very 2D side-scrolling action area and you try and find all these secrets and upgrades, and then you move through a door into the next area. And then eventually there's a boss. But what this game does really well that we're starting to see in the roguelite genre is much like Curse of the Dead Gods, or there's a more recent example that I can't think of, but like Hades 2. or not 2, but Hades also. I haven't played Hades 2.
as
But it
well.
does a really good job of um, slowly unlocking and branching your paths through the game in just a very smart, well
Very
designed way. Because
well designed and satisfying progression.
yeah, because I will say this game wasn't overly difficult. Probably could have been a little more difficult, but I finished it in probably 5 to 8 hours, which is a little short for a roguelite, but I liked it. I enjoyed my time, and I could do more if I wanted, but I'm probably done for now. Um, but what was so good about it was that it no there was almost not a single run that I did that felt wasted. And that's kind of rare in the genre. That's one of my
Yeah.
critiques, is that it's kind of inherent in the genre that sometimes you're
It feels
grinding, or
almost inevitable.
you're grinding a couple runs to be able to get to the next run that actually matters, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
this kind of felt like a bite-sized version of this genre, where it's like, it's just, here you go. If you're, unless if you die a few times due to your own shortcomings, then yeah, you might have a couple wasted. But like I said, the game wasn't too difficult, so I didn't end up dying a lot frivolously. And so every run, there was meaningful progression. And what it does is it starts you off like point A to point B to point C is your first run. And then in map C, you'll find an item that's like, he's like, oh, I wonder about this other location. They must be attacking there. And it's like, this area will be available on your next run. So then you go back and you go A to B to D instead of to C. And then you explore D. And then you find something there, or some narrative development. And it's like, oh, this other location, it's very narrative in the way he's like, oh, I need to go check on this person or whatever. And it's like, this will be available on your next run. So instead of starting at A, you start at A2 and go to B. And to like, it opens up the map from left to right in a very intuitive and cool way, where it genuinely feels like each time you're starting a run, you're like, oh, I have this new place I need to go explore and find out. And kind of weaves that into quests that you have for certain characters and things too. And just a very, very intelligently designed way that it unfolds. Because I know that I think Calvin, I don't know about you, Zach, but we've played a few of these, and sometimes it can definitely, I think even in Curse of the Dead Gods, there comes a point where you're just like, there's a wall of difficulty here, and I just have to grind until I can get past this wall. Yeah. And that can, if it crosses the line, can become a little overly frustrating. This definitely is much more casual on that spectrum, and caters much closer to not wasting any of your time. So
yeah, cool.
There's my quick spiel on it. It's a really fun game. I would recommend it to you, Calvin, because I know you like those other games. Yeah. And the last thing I will say about Rogue Prince of Persia is they nailed the parkour movement. It is so good. The new mechanic in this game, the brand new mechanic that is revolutionary, is they put walls in the background. So like you have platforms that you're running on, like any 2D thing. But if there's a wall behind you, there's a button you can push to like wall run.
Oh, that's cool.
And it feels so good.
3D, 2D, or
yeah, it adds this.
Yeah, because we've really only seen that in 3D.
Yeah, and it adds this depth. Clever. It's so good because you start to pay attention to, is there a wall behind me? And you use it in traversal constantly, and you use it in combat once you get good at it. And that's literally, there's a skill ceiling to it. Once you get good at it, you're chaining, some parkour into a wall run, into a dash, into some parkour, into a wall run. Like it flows and it feels so good. And
that alone makes me want to play it.
The two buttons you're using, the L2 is wall run and the R2 is dash. And
that feels balanced. Like,
it just feels, dude, I tell you, it feels so good.
It feels like the right order too, like left to right, wall run to dash.
And here's the other thing. The wall run is dynamic. You can wall run up. You can wall run at an angle.
You can control.
So it's not just like a set animation every time.
No, and at first you don't. It takes a minute to get used to until you realize that. It's not a set animation. Like literally, if there's a wall behind me and I need to get up to a high ledge, I can wall run up into a jump. Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
And it feels so good. And the combat is also really good. It's kind of built around, you have your dash when you're in combat is actually like a hurdle. So he'll do like a hurdle flip over the enemy. And so you're just constantly like hurdling over the enemy and wall running. And it just nails this like this. It's weird how like Prince of Persia has become this pop type vibe, you know, because like Lost Crown had that too, but it's just kind of like this pop parkour. I don't know. They nailed it, and the flow state of traversing in this game feels really good to the point where I just like after I beat it, I'm kind of like, this feels good enough to where it's the kind of game where I might want to pop back in and just do a run to do the wall running because it just
That's cool.
they crush the
I'll
gameplay
have,
mechanics.
I'll have to give it a try. I mean, I loved the other Prince of Persia game, and the thought of a roguelike that has those cool elements and is only 5 to 8 hours or whatever is actually appealing to me because like I like
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I often don't want to stick with them as long as I need to. So I think
And
I
honestly,
might check
you
that
can
out.
download it right now without no charge. So just download it, and everyone, you got to try the wall running. Just get a hit. Just get a hit of the wall running.
So you get a hit. Yeah.
Get a
Get how it
first
feels like.
First hit's always free.
And then if you play anymore, it's up to you. But you got a wall run. It's I was really like when I played this game, I was like, this is the thing. Like this is the hook. This game has a hook here that I haven't seen any other 2D game do. And I'm like, we need more. We need more background interaction for traversal. Like that.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, it was like, oh, it felt obvious. It was like, why hasn't anyone tried that? That's really brilliant. And maybe someone else has, but
it adds depth, really not just in gameplay, but in like visual. It just adds depth.
Totally.
Like across all.
I see it.
As you were kind of talking about that, it just made me realize kind of one of my favorite things when done well, because there's just so much oversaturation in every genre now, but when it's done really well, one of my favorite things, which is pretty specific to Metroidvanias typically, is when a game can mesh really high level traversal and movement mechanics with combat and boss fights. When they can be one 100%. And the same, that is just one of the
when they flow in and out of each other.
Yeah. And you're using traversal and movement for a fight, and it's not just, okay, I'm done traversing, I'm going to fight now.
Yeah.
That's one of the coolest things.
This game, it feels really smooth to play. And once you get a handle on it and you kind of reach that skill ceiling, it's just like, it's like this, running across these walls, jumping gaps. And, you've got little poles sticking out of the walls that he'll perch on and jump from one to the next and then wall run. And it's good. Really good.
Cool.
So
it's cool.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. No, I would probably, it's lower. It's probably 8.5, but like they really did make, I think they did a great job of making a nice, tight roguelite Metroidvania type thing with great feeling combat traversal. All right. I'm just about as sick of talking as y'all are to listening to me, but we got to end with the other day and date PS Plus extra game that I played for almost free, not quite, because PS Plus extra is actually very expensive these days. But the Sword of the Sea came out in August. Right. And this is the next game from, I believe, Giant Squid. And they did Journey. And, well, I believe the team split.
It's one of the guys. I think it's the game designer from Journey.
It's kind of like a limbo situation.
Yeah.
Where like some went on to make this other game and some went on to make this game. But I believe Giant Squid made Abzu, which is the underwater journey game, if anyone remembers that.
I think I've had that like in my catalog for years, but I've never actually played it.
Yeah, I've never played it actually either. I'm one who's critical of Journey.
Screenshots of this game,
dude. Sword of the Sea is all right. Hold on, before I get there, they also made The Pathless, which was a launch game for PS5, and I played it. I beat it. It was fine. Giant Squid's worlds tend to be a little too empty for me. I don't know. They give me the bad vibes, empty world. I just don't quite click with them. I never liked Journey. I thought Journey was a glorified screensaver. Like there wasn't enough gameplay to Journey for me. Didn't play Abzu. Kind of liked Pathless, but at the end of the day, it was like, I could have taken or left that. It had some good moments. So I will say this is the first game from this team that hits for me. Like it hits. And of course it does, because the premise is you are literally surfing on a sword for the entire game. And so it basically meshes the flow state concept of like almost like a haste or just something where you're just gliding and surfing, very mesmerizing, with also kind of like this very, very, very light version of Tony Hawk, where it's like when you get air, you can do tricks and then increase your speed. And visually, this game is stunning. The art direction is what you'd expect from Journey or whatever, but it actually has enough gameplay to back it up, where you're
Cool.
actually, the exploration is solid, and the traversal feels really good. The upgrades that you get upgrades to your movement, whether it's a double jump or different things throughout the story, um, and they all just feel so good, and all of the areas look so good visually. This game is just like everything's a painting. You're taking videos, you're taking screenshots.
Yeah, I mean,
The
just
game
looking
is,
through some of the images on Google, it's
dude, it's
stunning.
it's
I
serene.
want to go play this right now, and I have Silksong waiting for me.
Yeah, this is 100% a 10 out of 10. Like they nailed what they wanted to do. It's
10 out of
5.
10.
I only play 10 out of 10 games. What can I tell you? No,
Hey,
I
what
play
a
a
good
lot of
play-
bad games.
What a
I play
good
a lot
place
of
to
bad
be in,
games.
though. You really do, and I'm not going to say what, but
Yeah, it's a
Ooh, I'm
problem.
just kidding.
Oh, that's a
problem.
10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10. No, honestly, what a great place to be in, where you have like multiple 10 out of 10 experiences. Like, that's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. We just have so many studios now that it's like people are just making good on their vision. And when you make good on your vision and you make a good game, like there can be 10 out of 10s of all different shapes, sizes, and whatever, like
as
it's
the
just,
tools to make higher quality games get more and more
I need
accessible.
to go make a 10 out of 10 video game is what I need to do. I need to stop screwing around and go make
Let's
my
do
10
it.
out of 10 video game
Let's go make one. I'll
right
do
now.
the right. I'll write. You come
We'll
up
be
with
the P
concepts
brothers.
and game designers.
Team Plum.
Yeah.
From Studio P Brothers.
Calvin, you can do some art.
Yeah.
The P brothers.
But yeah, this game, I mean, again, it's short. It's I finally got off. It's 5 to 8 hours. I haven't gotten the platinum yet because it makes you replay the game, which I hate that as a trophy thing. But at the same time, I look forward to going back and replaying it at some point because it's just
kind of
so
gives
good.
it for you for later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've left it, is that anytime a game has that, it's like if I like this game enough to come back and ever play it again and I'm in the itch, then I'll get the platinum. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it right now. But the visuals to this game and the art direction and the music, just this game is definitely art. Every game is art, but like sometimes you come across a game and you're like, holy crap, this is just this is something you could show someone who doesn't play video games.
This is
put
art
some
plus.
put some headphones on and move around in this world and mess around with this thing and see what happens. And just really cool. The whole premise too is it works for me too. I just love, it's very much the water is life thing. Like you're basically going around deserts and barren areas and you're bringing water back to them. And you've got whales flying through the air and water pouring out of geysers. And it's just,
love that. Water is,
it's just so good. Water is,
I was going to say water is underrated, but I don't know if
water is, I feel underrated. Like it's got to be a top 3 liquid.
Water's maybe properly rated.
I'm thirsty.
It's got to be top 3. Got to be top 3 liquid. No, it probably is underrated. Water, I think most humans do not
Blast.
rate.
A lot of people probably drink everything except water at any chance they can get.
Yeah,
water Baja Blast, tequila. We're done.
There you go.
End of story. So no, totally worth playing. I mean, again, just 10. I really do think this is a 10 out of 10 game. Had a lot of fun with it, and I don't even know what bucket it goes in because I didn't like Journey. If you like Journey and stuff, then great, you'll probably love this. But this is very much
like
it's an experience.
It's more
this is an experience.
Out. Yeah.
It is. It's more gameplay. It's enough to keep me engaged, but it very much is an experience to be had. It goes in the experience bucket, I would say.
Yeah.
So August really hit with some kind of just not totally on my radar, at least not from a long ways away. Sword in the Sea didn't get a release date until I think July. And so just a lot of things kind of fell into August, and I ended up playing a lot of these smaller, and again, all of these games, as we mentioned at the outset, I threw my napkin away that had my list, but most of these are $20-$30.
Yeah.
If you're not playing them from, some service, they might be on Game Pass. They were on PS Plus Extra, in which case you paid no extra money for them. But again, that $20 to $30 price point is just putting out bangers recently.
It really is.
Really, really good stuff. So I recommend I would say of the games in August, of the smaller games I played, Sword of the Sea has to be. It's very peak. Like I think it's worth checking out for sure. Almost no matter who you are.
I might try and get to that one this year too, because I feel like this could be a good in between game. It's short enough,
super chill,
kind of
super short, great palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
So I hope they keep going this direction because they really do have the special sauce when it comes to creating environments and spaces that are just mesmerizing to be in. I just need a little bit more to grab onto as a video game. I'm not someone who can sit there and have the one button. Well, haste was one button, but it can't be. There has to be enough engagement. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, we did it!
You out of breath?
Dude, you guys got to play a couple more small games so that you can talk more.
I know. I'll try to. I had a...
No, your list is only giant games for the rest of the year.
That's true. Or games you've played already.
You're not allowed to play your small games until you finish your big games.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's so true.
Cool. Well, there was July and August. We're through the summer. We're into September. It's Silk Song. By the way, merry belated Silk Song Eve and Silk Song Day. I hope you all had a great... yesterday was like a personal holiday for me because Silk Song released and it was the start of the NFL season. So it was just like...
It was just great.
Yeah. It was a merry Silk Song Day. Like I just was having a blast with yesterday.
It was a good day. It did feel like a holiday yesterday.
It's one of those days that felt like being a child as an adult, which are increasingly rare as you get older.
Yeah.
And Silk Song lives up. So, I mean,
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to firing it up in a couple hours here. And
you going to fire it up today?
Yeah, I think so. I have a couple more things to finish for work after this and then get some food and then hopefully get an hour or so.
Be cool to at least talk about some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to chat. You got to chat your opening impressions and
I should be dropping in for at least the very beginning of it tonight.
Cool. So. Cool. You going to go, what platform are you going to get it on?
I'm thinking my Switch because right now I'm
Steam Station box.
I'm traveling around a lot right now, and I have my Switch hooked up to my TV. Deck. Steam Deck. Yeah, I guess I could do Steam Deck too.
You have a PC and a Steam Deck.
Yeah,
and
my
you have
PC...
better achievements. Don't give Nintendo money unless you have to. That's my motto.
True. That's true. It's just the Switch is lighter to carry around than my Steam Deck.
That's fair. Get it on the Switch if you want. That's my stance though.
You know what? My Steam Deck is OLED, but
oh, dude, you can't play this game on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
True. I think you're right. I think I might have to go.
The OLED's a deal breaker, man.
Yeah.
That screen on the handheld Switch is just not good, in my opinion. I don't know. We didn't talk about this. I didn't play much of DK Bonanza on the handheld. And when I did, there's like this ghosting effect that happens on the screen, and it drives me nuts. It feels like the refresh rate is bad.
I noticed the lack of OLED for sure. I don't know about the refresh rate. Maybe. I feel like I definitely noticed the lack of OLED when I played it because I played a little bit of DK handheld, and I prefer it hooked up to my TV, which is OLED. And so that's my thinking for Silk Song is probably 80% of it would be on the TV, but then I can just pick it up and carry it on the go. Whereas with Steam Deck, I guess it syncs with my PC, but like my PC is not hooked up to my TV, and I have my monitor for my PC.
I thought you did have it hooked up to the TV.
I did for a while. My stuff's kind of all in disarray right now, so
discombobulated. Okay, because that's how I do it. And Steam is so good about that, where it's like,
does it automatically do that?
Yeah,
like it automatically.
Yeah, dude. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, I'll pick up my Steam Deck and I'll play for a little bit, and then I'll close it, put it down, and I'll boot it up on PC, and I'm right where I left off. Steam cloud saving is like so. It's so good. Honestly, I wish every platform. I get the Switch is kind of like a hybrid where you hold it and you just put like Switch is very much the dumbed down version that works really well.
It's more convenient.
But like I wish PlayStation had a Steam Deck that synced automatically the way Steam Deck and PC or just all games were on PC. Too. I don't know. It's so good though. Yeah. So my I would say if you plan to play handheld at all, you definitely got to go Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But cool. We will chat.
I'm hoping to do both because I do want to somewhat experience it like on my TV. But I could technically.
Yeah, I would say that this is.
I just have to do something.
It's weird because this is the kind of game where it's like this is a perfect handheld game, but it's also freaking Silk Song. Like you got to have lights off.
That's
big
what
TV,
I mean. Is like,
headphones on.
I want to play this at night, like
Yeah.
have full sound, like
Full
you know,
immersion.
full immersion, and then there will be times where I'm like chipping away at it on my handheld here and there. But
Yeah, definitely. Well, looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll continue to
maybe I'll
talk
just
off the.
what are you playing it on? Are you playing it on PS5?
We're on PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to play it on yet, but
Flip a 3-sided coin.
I'll just buy it on everything.
I mean, honestly, there you go. Then you're at $60, and then Team Cherry gets their $60. You know?
To be fair, I also bought it for Bell, so now I'm at $80.
Oh, 80. Okay.
This is starting to be GTA 6 prices. The heck?
And yet worth it. Still
worth it.
Well, we'll continue to chat off air throughout the month, but yeah, I think look forward to our thoughts on Silksong at the end of September. That'll definitely be the headliner. Hopefully we can get through the majority of it in September. Or you know what? Where are we at? September, October? We could do doubles all the way through the year. Who knows what we'll do? We're trying to keep you guessing. So
yep.
There we go. We wrapped another 2 months under 2 hours, and I did way too much talking. So hopefully next month we can keep it to. It's probably going to be
one and a breezy 1.5.
Well, it depends on if it's September and
it's
October.
Probably yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be.
We got to get back to 1 month, but we'll see where we're at the end of September with Silksong, and how big it is. We don't really know at this point. We have a vague idea, but we don't know. You don't know until you roll credits. So, anyways, that'll wrap it up. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time.